chosen one. This is not just another Sunday. This is a sacred appointment etched into the blueprint of your destiny long before you even woke up today. The moment you opened your eyes, something in the atmosphere shifted. The air carries more than oxygen. It carries divine electricity. A quiet but powerful frequency is vibrating through your spirit right now. And that's no accident. You didn't just wake up into another day. You stepped into a divine threshold, a day that heaven has highlighted for transformation, clarity, favor, and the birthing of something new in your life. If your heart feels stirred, if something deep within you is whispering, something's different today, that's because it is. You're not imagining the shift. You're sensing the sacred. This day has been assigned to awaken what's been asleep in you, to activate what's been dormant, and to bring into motion what's been waiting in the spirit. Type 99 in the comments, not just as a number, but as a declaration that your soul is aligned, your spirit is ready, and heaven has your attention. This moment is not about chance. It's not about coincidence. It's about divine timing, and you, yes, you, are standing in it. Heaven isn't silent today. It's watching closely, holding its breath as you step into your moment. You might not see it with your eyes, but in the spirit realm, everything is shifting. This Sunday isn't part of the routine. It's not a repeat of last week or just a date on the calendar. It's a divine activation point, the moment your preparation collides with God's perfect timing. You've been walking through fire, refined in silence, faithful in storms, and now you've entered alignment. Not because of chance, but because of your perseverance. Because you kept showing up when it felt pointless. Because you trusted when it didn't make sense. Right now, a spiritual portal is open, tailor-made for your soul. It's not visible to the crowd, but your spirit recognizes it. You feel it in the stillness, in the weight of this very hour. This is the kind of Sunday where heaven speaks in signs. A call you didn't expect, a thought that won't leave, a door swinging open without warning. Don't dismiss it. This isn't random. This is real. Everything that felt delayed is now catching up with divine speed. You are not behind. You are right on time. And now, heaven is shifting the atmosphere around you to match the power that's been building within you. You've walked through seasons where no one clapped, no one noticed, and no one affirmed your worth. But heaven saw, and now heaven is responding. You were never overlooked. You were being hidden for the right moment. And this, right now, is it. You're not average. You're not one of many. You're one of a kind. That's why your journey looked different. That's why you couldn't blend in. That's why your prayers felt like whispers into silence. Because you were being shaped in divine secrecy, not forgotten. Now the realm of the Spirit is echoing your name, not because you forced your way in, but because you stayed faithful when no one was watching. You passed tests no one knew you were taking. You said yes to God when walking away would have been easier. And now there's movement in the heavens. Things are shifting in your favor. Answers are coming not by striving, but by alignment. What once delayed is now being expedited. Prayers you gave up on are returning full circle, stronger, clearer, and more timely than you could have imagined. You're standing on the edge of something divine, and it's not coming because you begged for it. It's coming because you've become ready for it. Something inside you is rising today, something ancient, holy, and unstoppable. You may not hear trumpets. The world may go on like it's just another Sunday, but within you, a resurrection is happening. This isn't just healing, it's rebirthing. Not a repair of the old you, but a release of the true you that heaven always knew. The quiet years, the silent battles, the unanswered prayers, they weren't wasted. They were womb years. And now the labor's over. The delivery has begun. You're not just moving forward, you're emerging. Not from failure, but from formation. Everything you went through was not to break you, but to build a vessel strong enough to carry the assignment now resting on your life. Others won't see it. They'll think it's business as usual, but your spirit knows the truth. You've been reset from within. Your thoughts are sharper, your vision is clearer, your frequency is higher. Today is not just a new day, it's a new dimension, and you didn't earn your way into it. You surrendered your way into it. This is the first step of the new you, Walk like you've already arrived. Because in heaven's eyes, you have. Let's be clear, you were never overlooked. Heaven didn't forget you. God didn't misplace you. You were being forged in the fire, not left in the dark. While others were rushing ahead, you were being anchored deeper. While the world chased visibility, you were gaining spiritual weight. And now the veil is lifting. What you felt as delay was divine development. What you called silence was sacred instruction. And what felt like isolation was heaven's way of shielding your anointing until it was fully ready. You're not just walking into purpose, you're walking in proof of who you've become. Today isn't about starting from scratch. It's about stepping into what has already been prepared, with the authority of someone who's been trained by trials and tested by time. Things will begin to shift fast, not because you're forcing it, but because you're finally aligned with your original assignment. Doors will open. Conversations will change. People will notice something different, even if they can't explain it. Why? Because you've been revealed, not to the world first, but to yourself. And now that you know who you are, nothing will ever be the same. You've been adjusting to the world for so long, shrinking, softening, second-guessing. But now, the world is adjusting to you. When divine alignment happens within, everything external must respond. Environments shift. Conversations sound different. Even time begins to feel like it's bending in your favor. You're not just entering rooms anymore. You're setting the frequency of the space. People won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. Not hype, not ego, authority, real spiritual authority. This isn't about being louder. It's about being clearer. It's not about performance. It's about presence. You carry something now, and even the unseen world knows it. The limits that once boxed you in, gone. The false labels, the old stories, the roles you were told to play, they're falling off like broken chains. You've stopped asking for permission to shine. You've stopped minimizing your fire so others feel comfortable. Why? Because leaders aren't made to blend in. They're made to walk in rooms and wake people up without even saying a word. This is your activation. This is your realignment. And from this moment forward, nothing and no one around you will stay the same. They thought your silence meant you had nothing to say, but really you were being sharpened in secret. Every quiet season, every lonely room, every unseen sacrifice was divine training for impact, not performance. You weren't being ignored. You were being crafted, layer by layer, trial by trial, until your voice carried weight, not just sound. And now the world will begin to feel what heaven already confirmed. You are a vessel of divine clarity. Your words won't be noise. They'll be instructions. Your presence won't seek attention. It will shift atmospheres. But don't chase the spotlight. Don't run after platforms. Stay aligned with the assignment. Because when God reveals someone, no man can deny them. You're not here to impress. You're here to awaken, to break cycles, to release answers, to carry healing into places that forgot what wholeness feels like. You are not stepping into influence for applause. You're stepping into it because you've been approved in secret. And now it's public. Let your words be fire. Let your posture be humble. Let your impact speak louder than your introduction. Because the rise has already begun. And you were born for it. You're not the same person who used to shrink back. You've outgrown that version, the one who doubted, delayed, dimmed the light to stay acceptable. Now you're entering new rooms, new realms, and new roles. Not because you forced your way in, but because your spirit has matured into divine readiness. Doors that once stayed shut aren't resisting you anymore. They're responding to the authority you now carry. It's not about striving, it's about alignment. You no longer chase opportunities, you attract them because your frequency has changed. You walk differently now. There's a weight to your steps, a presence that speaks before your mouth opens. People feel the shift. Even if they don't know what changed, they know you've changed. This realm isn't louder, it's higher. It doesn't operate by status, it responds to spirit. And your spirit has been prepared through fire, isolation, obedience, and surrender. Don't be surprised if you feel like you don't fit here either. That's because you weren't called to fit. You were called to lead. This new realm wasn't built to impress you. It was built to recognize you. And now that you've entered, nothing will stay the same. Not in the atmosphere, not in you. This isn't hope talking anymore. This is realization. You're no longer reaching for a version of yourself. You've become that version. The hesitation is gone. The doubt has dissolved. You're not asking for permission. You're walking in position. You don't need a title to carry weight. You don't need applause to validate your worth. Heaven has already spoken, and that's enough. There's a quiet power settling over you now. One that doesn't scream to be heard, but shifts things simply by presence. You've tapped into spiritual authority, not borrowed, not fake, not performed. It's real. It's rooted. It's earned in the unseen. And that authority is unlocking things. People will respond to your voice without knowing why. Systems will shift to make room for your arrival. Hearts will soften in your presence, not because of who you know, but because of who you've become. This is more than confidence. This is clarity. This is covenant. This is God's signature etched into your soul. You don't carry insecurity anymore. You carry instruction. You don't walk in confusion. You walk in divine clarity. And that realization is what makes you unstoppable. You're not making a comeback, you're making a reintroduction. But this time, you're not re-entering as who they thought you were. You're arriving as who God always knew you'd become. You're not trying to prove anything anymore. You're not striving for validation. You've already been approved in heaven, and now it's time the earth adjusts. This isn't about being seen. It's about being recognized in the spirit, in authority, in purpose. You don't need a grand entrance. Your presence alone will say everything. Because now, when you walk into a space, you carry the weight of obedience, the fragrance of surrender, and the evidence of someone who's been with God. Let them wonder what changed. Let them sense the shift. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. Those who overlooked you before won't even recognize you now. And that's okay, because you weren't made to be familiar. You were made to be set apart. This is your prophetic reintroduction, a divine unveiling, not of a new version of you, but of the real one who was hidden, refined, and now revealed. Let the world adjust, because heaven already has. What's been building in the spirit is now crossing into the physical. This is the moment where faith becomes form. You're not just sensing anymore, you're seeing. Not just believing, but witnessing. Answers are arriving, connections are aligning. What once felt like silence now echoes with divine activity. And none of it is random. It's the result of obedience when it was hardest, of faithfulness when no one was watching, of growth in the dark. You've been stewarding promises in secret, and now heaven is turning them into public proof. People will call it sudden, but you'll know the truth. This has been in motion for a long time. It was just hidden until now. This is the season where the invisible becomes undeniable, where what you carried in prayer is now showing up in reality. But remember, the goal was never the blessing, it was the becoming. And now that you've become the blessing, simply follows. So walk in it, own it, not with pride, but with peace. Because what's manifesting now is not a surprise. It's a confirmation. You've stepped into a flow that no man can interrupt. What God has initiated in your life, no force can reverse. This is not a fragile blessing. It's not a moment of hype or emotional high. This is a divine rollout, orchestrated by heaven, timed to perfection, and no one, not even you, can delay it anymore. Everything is unfolding now, not in chaos, but in divine rhythm. Step by step, scene by scene, God is revealing the masterpiece that He's been building inside you all along. And here's the truth. You don't have to make it happen. You just have to stay in motion. Keep walking. Keep showing up. Keep trusting. Because the unfolding has momentum now. It's bigger than you, but it's flowing through you. The enemy tried to confuse you, make you think the silence was rejection, but it was actually setup. Now you're in the part of the story where you don't chase anything. What's yours begins to find you. The right people, the right moments, the right alignments. This is the unstoppable unfolding. And it's just getting started. You're about to experience in days what others take years to accomplish. Because when God steps in, delay turns into acceleration. This is not you skipping steps. This is heaven redeeming the time. Every no you endured, every closed door you honored, every moment you waited without bitterness has now turned into fuel for divine speed. You're not being fast-tracked out of convenience. You're being moved forward because you're ready. Because the version of you that doubted is gone, and the version standing now is equipped, aligned, and in full agreement with heaven. Doors will open without effort. Resources will flow without struggle. Ideas will land in your spirit like lightning. What once felt far will suddenly feel within reach. Not because the path got shorter, but because God cleared the resistance. This is acceleration with intention. God doesn't rush, He reveals. And right now, He's revealing the pace you were always meant to run at. You're not catching up. You're rising up in rhythm with divine timing. And what's coming next won't take long, because it's already ready. This time won't end like last time. The cycle stops with you. What once felt like patterns you couldn't escape: sabotage, delay, self-doubt, survival mode, they're losing their grip. You've been awakened. And because you're awake, you're dangerous to what once held you captive. This isn't just about behavior. This is about identity. You no longer see yourself through the lens of your past. You see yourself through the clarity of your calling. And that shift, that's where the cycle breaks. You're no longer available for dysfunction, no longer settling for half-hearted relationships, no longer entertaining environments that drain your spirit, because now you remember who you are. And because of that, you're making new decisions, drawing new lines, saying holy no's to things that once lured you in. You're not running in circles anymore. You're moving forward in covenant. This is the season where history loses its voice and destiny begins to speak louder. You were never born to repeat pain. You were born to redeem legacy. And that redemption, it starts with your yes. There is a sacred weight approaching, not to burden you, but to crown you. The very things that once overwhelmed you, that crushed your confidence and stretched your limits, are now becoming the very things you'll carry with authority. You're not being punished. You're being trusted. And with that trust comes glory, not just the beauty of breakthrough, but the weight that comes with carrying heaven's purpose. This weight isn't heavy because it's wrong. It's heavy because it's holy. And now your shoulders are strong enough to hold it. You've been trained in private for a glory that will be revealed in public. And as it rests upon you, don't shrink, don't second guess. Stand under it, walk with it, own it. Because this is not man-made success. This is not validation from the crowd. This is divine responsibility clothed in eternal significance. You're not stepping into ease, you're stepping into impact. And impact requires substance, not show. It requires depth, not decoration. And you, chosen one, you now carry both. The weight is coming, but so is the glory. And you were built for both. You've prayed for open doors, you've asked for signs, you've believed for favor, and now you're becoming the very thing someone else was praying for. You are no longer just a receiver, you're a carrier of wisdom, of peace, of breakthrough, of clarity. There's someone out there whose next step depends on your obedience. Someone's healing is tied to your voice. Someone's clarity will unlock when you speak what God gave you. This is no longer about comfort. This is about assignment. You didn't survive all you've been through just to enjoy the view. You came out of the fire carrying answers, and now it's time to pour. Pour into rooms where confusion has lingered. Pour into people who've forgotten who they are. Pour into spaces where darkness thought it had the last word. Because the light you now carry wasn't just meant to guide you, it was meant to ignite others. You're not a guest in this moment. You're a messenger. You're not stepping into blessings just for yourself. You're stepping into impact. And someone's breakthrough is waiting on your yes. You've walked in silence long enough. You've been faithful in the shadows. Now heaven is going public about you. This is no longer about quiet favor. This is divine endorsement, loud, undeniable, unstoppable. When you speak now, rooms will shift. When you move, resistance will break. Not because you're trying harder, but because heaven is moving with you. There are angels assigned to your next step. There is provision attached to your obedience. There is power waiting to be released through your yes, your posture, your presence. Don't shrink from this moment. Don't apologize for the weight you carry. You were born for this spotlight, not for vanity, but for victory. You're not being promoted by people. You're being revealed by God. And when heaven reveals someone, no man can reverse it. This is a season where your quiet prayers become public testimonies, where the things you endured privately will now be used to impact others powerfully. You're not just chosen, you're commissioned, anointed, appointed, activated, and heaven is making it known. You're not alone in this. You're backed by glory, backed by angels, backed by the breath of God Himself. This is the season where you stop playing small. No more watering yourself down to make others comfortable. No more shrinking to fit places you've outgrown. You were not created for silence. You were created for sound that breaks stronghold, sound that carries healing, sound that shifts atmospheres. And now heaven is turning your volume all the way up. You've spent enough time apologizing for your presence, enough time second-guessing your instincts, enough time hiding what makes you powerful. Now is the time to own your voice, to speak with boldness, to show up fully, to move like you've been sent, because you have been. This season won't reward passivity. It rewards authentic fire, the kind that can't be faked, the kind that's been refined in secret. So stop censoring yourself. Stop negotiating your calling. Stop dimming your light so others feel less convicted. You're not too much. You're exactly enough for the purpose you were born to fulfill. The world doesn't need a quieter version of you. It needs the real one, full volume, fully awake, fully anointed. This is your season to stand tall, to speak loud, to shine bright. No more shrinking. This is your expansion hour. The oil on your life wasn't wasted. It wasn't random. It was reserved for this exact moment in time. Every drop of anointing, every ounce of wisdom, every fire-tested gift inside you, it was all for now. This is what you were prepared for. Not the crowd, not the stage, but the assignment. You weren't anointed for applause. You were anointed for alignment. And now that the moment has arrived, the oil is activating what's been waiting. Doors will respond to it. Battles will bow to it. Hearts will open because of it. You'll find yourself saying things you didn't rehearse, knowing things you weren't taught, walking into spaces you once felt unworthy of because now the oil is speaking. This is not charisma. It's consecration. It's not hype. It's heaven's hand. Don't downplay it. Don't delay it. Don't defer it for someone else. The oil was always for this moment, not tomorrow, not next year, now. So step into it fully, because heaven just said, release it. This is it. The shift is complete. The veil is torn. The slumber is over. And the chosen one, you, has fully awakened. Not halfway, not partially, fully, boldly, eternally. You are no longer becoming. You have become. You have risen from the ashes of doubt, delay, rejection, and fear. The old version of you cannot come with you anymore. It served its purpose. It's done. What's ahead is not trial. It's transcendence, not survival. It's dominion. Not searching. It's clarity. You are now walking as one who knows who they are, knows who sent them, knows why they were preserved. This final awakening isn't a destination, it's a launching pad. And from here forward, you will not move in reaction, but in revelation. You'll no longer live for impact, you are the impact. You'll no longer wait for signs, you are the sign. You'll no longer wonder if you're the one you know you are. So walk like it, live like it, lead like it. Because now the earth knows it too. The chosen one has awakened, and they are never going back.